This is Our First Responders, Episode 5, a tribute to the volunteers and support services.
There's communications behind the scene. We have a huge organisation or group of people within the RFS who donate their time to run the radios in the office here. Without those communications people, nothing happens. Logistically, we had a local fire brigade here, the Lavington Rural Fire Brigade, who by default became the logistical hub for this for nearly 35 days straight. It was phenomenal. All donations, they had to get in 40-foot containers and semi-trailers to store the goods that were being donated from all over Australia, and then they were distributing, these are all volunteer people, they were distributing ration packs, firefighter ration packs, food packs out to the fire grounds. They were taking food up to the staging areas at Holbrook and Gingellic. They kept the Walwa Bush Nursing Home going for days because people other than firefighters, no one could get in. Taking them in supplies of bread, the basics, water, Corryong, Cudgee, Lavington Fire Brigade did a phenomenal job, as well as they had crews out on that fire ground the whole time. And it's a credit to them, once again, to the volunteers. It was just phenomenal what they were doing. It's actually mind-blowing once again, how something bad brings the best out in people. It was just phenomenal. And after I was injured on the 30th, I was unable to go back to the fire ground, so I went out to Lavington, and the amount of people was phenomenal. We nearly had to engage traffic control because there were so many people. And it was a young kid turning up with a pallet of cold water, or two young girls who worked at Dan Murphy's drove up with a pallet. As I said earlier, the Sikh community, I think it was the Sikhs, turned up and asked me, what can we do to help? And the Lavington Brigade captain said, gee, I need a trailer. We've got so much gear, we've got to distribute. They went away and bought them a brand new trailer and said, here it is. Within an hour, they came back and bought back a $5,000 trailer. It's just been phenomenal. So in that, there is so many other roles. It's not just about firefighting, and without all those other, back of house roles, we can't do what we do as firefighters. We rely on the police a lot for roadblocks, particularly once big fires start. Coordination, door knocking, SES, phenomenal. Ambulance, New South Wales, all, not just New South Wales, all states have the similar. People don't see it, but essential energy. A lot of these fires go through and just burn the power infrastructure out. Those guys are pretty well in not long after the fire's gone through to try and get power up and running. Telstra, all the telecommunications people. It's not just firefighters. There's a huge amount of support and backup and other agencies. Fire and Rescue New South Wales, they're the paid firefighters of New South Wales. They're out there on asset protection and in support roles. As I said, we had Canadian and American firefighting specialists out here for the whole summer because of the extent of what we had across the state. We had three deployed to here, two Canadians, one from Alberta, one from Ontario, and another American firefighter specialist from Boise, Idaho, and they were instrumental in helping us also manage these fires. Aerial support, both RFS support, contract support, the aerial support's a big part of firefighting these days, so they make a big part of the team too. And unfortunately, as we heard on, I think it was about the 10th, we lost Bomber 134 over on the Snowy Mountains. The Colson C-130 went down. We lost 3 American firefighters.
I think the support we had in Corryong when we first got in there was amazing. We pulled up, we regrouped in the Corryong fire station.
That was 3 o'clock in the morning.
There's a little shop right next door to the fire station. We were all pretty well exhausted, and their little pizza and cinema shop. They opened their doors up for us, said there's a cinema in there for you to sit down in, help yourself to cold drinks. And they even started cooking us meals like we hadn't eaten since we left.
They were apologetic that they didn't have any food there for us, and we said, look, for you to just open your doors and open your fridge, we had a cold soft drink. It's amazing when you're out on fire grounds for that long. The simple things are so good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, and hats off to them. They just opened their doors, and we got back about probably about 11 o'clock the next morning, back to the fire station, and they were already cooking pizzas. And through a bit of, communication errors and mismanagement, tell you what, it was golden.
Oh, it was just as good as winning the lottery, I reckon.
It was. And I mean, other things that come out of the fires, we have a heap of people who have volunteered or put forward their name to volunteer with the brigade. So, you know, we're going to have about 25 or 30 people to go through and catch up with, and potentially look at getting more people volunteering. So again, when people see the big fire, they go, oh, I want to go and help somehow, and that's how they think they can help, which is good. So we might have a good influx of new volunteers over the next 12 months.
One thing is always behind a strong firefighter, I found, is an even stronger partner at home. To tell my wife I'm going down the station, I'll be back in 5 minutes, leave her at home with my 3 young children, and then not returning till 3 o'clock the next afternoon on New Year's Eve. Is sort of put her through a lot. I made the foolish thing of not charging my phone, so I had no way of contacting her. I ended up calling her about 11 o'clock on Dave's phone saying, you know, we're all right, this is where I am. And then after every time my pager went off after that, she sort of started going through the things like, God, you know, where's he going now? What's going to happen now? But yeah, sort of having a strong partner at home and your kids to come home to is just sort of a really big thing, I think.